I had to buy a package.
Oh, shit. Yeah, with all the extras.
Yeah, like a factor bed. And then she's like hold the bed for me.
On my way to Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, and I'm continuing my education. I'm gonna podcast today. Super excited and fired up for it with Dr. Shawn Baker. I'm gonna be on his podcast, sharing some information. Got some collaborative stuff to do with Dr. Baker coming up in the near future. I'm excited to have conversation with him, talk with him. Also, you're going to be able to see that full video, not only on Dr. Baker stuff, but we're going to share it out on markbell.com as well. So those will be the only two spots you'll be able to see some of that. But, you know, Dr. Baker is somebody who really started this carnivore movement. He did so via the Joe Rogan podcast, and then he started World Carnivore Month, which is in January. And I've been continuing my carnivore path, you know, through January, February, you know, and I'm going to continue to keep cruising through March and April probably, and going to basically switch off into kind of like a meat-based diet rather than just pure carnivore challenge. We're trying to stick strictly, you know, 95% or more to eating just meat, and then off of that I'll probably veer into eating a little bit of vegetables, maybe some potatoes here and there, maybe a little bit of rice, just getting a little carbohydrate in there for a period of time, some berries and shit like that, because again, I'm not out to prove the world wrong that you can primarily just live off of meat to the detriment of myself or, you know, or any performance that I might have in the gym or any goals that I might have, you know what I mean? I don't think it's to the detriment of my health, because after doing the carnivore diet, I'm a firm believer. I don't know, you know, long term what it does, but no one really knows the long term effects of any diet, because we just don't have that much great information, because they're doing studies on human beings, includes human behavior, and there's so many factors that go along with that, and there's so many different genetic factors, and there's factors of whether people are telling the truth or not, and we'll never really have any of that information anyway. But as far as I can tell, carnivore diet seems to be very healthy. There's some people online that have been doing it for 10 years, but again, you know, we don't know what they've been doing. We don't know how our ancestors really ate. It's just a hypothesis that they mainly ate meat, but I mean, it's fairly common. We're not certain of it 100%, but we're pretty sure that our ancestors primarily ate meat, and you know, they'd come across plants, and they'd come across fruit, which is also a plant, right? And they'd have opportunities to eat some of these different things here and there. Anyway, excited to have Dr. Baker. Excited to be on his show for today and to share my experience with the carnivore diet, the keto diet, over the last several years, coming from 330 pounds down to 230 pounds. Gonna see how the day plays out. I have kind of a bunch of stuff to do. If there's time to sneak in some squats, then I will. But I got my run walk in this morning, went about 3 miles, and finished that up in about 34 minutes. That's a pretty decent pace. Hamstring is still tight, so I don't know, you know, I need to start to really, you know, work on it. I have been trying to work out the kinks in the hamstrings. I'm not sure why they're so tight, because I'm not really running that fast. But you know, whatever it is, I got to figure it out and figure out a way to get a little bit better results. Because I'd like to start to move a little faster. I'd like to start to get in the 30-minute range for those run walks, but just not there yet. Not going to push anything that's not there. I'm a firm believer in that. And today, all I had so far today was coffee with a scoop of Slingshot protein in it, and probably kind of hit up a double dinner type of thing later on today, which I talked about recently on my Instagram. And that's just a very simple thing of, you know, having a very short actual eating window. Liquid is still, you know, when you have liquid, it's still, you know, kind of a form of eating. So I'm not really necessarily fasting, but I'm partitioning off the calories till later on in the day. Anyway, just playing with a bunch of different things. I'm going to continue to stick and move and continue to try new and different things in this diet. Even within the confines of the carnivore diet, I want to figure out what's going to be the most optimal, what's going to work the best. From messing around with the milk and messing around with, you know, slapping on 20 pounds and eating a lot. I did gain some weight, especially through the milk and the heavy cream. It was just a real excess of energy that I took in for, you know, about 2.5, 3 weeks. And so this week I've just lowered the fat calories down, which I've mentioned several times now, to try to, you know, get back somewhere in the middle there. But once I get back from this trip, I got some really cool plans on some things to try with the diet, and on some things to try with some kind of extreme fat burning things that I want to give a go. But in terms of the actual nutrition and diet, the diet it won't be fancy, it will just be consistent. There'll be some different practices through training and through cold water therapy and some different things like that coming up as soon as I can get to it. And like I said, gonna try to get in some training, but we'll just see how the day plays out. I ended up buying a bunch of different cheeses, sour cream. I think that's another sour cream. Here's like a weird cheese. I bought a bunch of cream cheese. This cream cheese, or not cream cheese, cottage cheese is amazing. Bought some creme fraiche. Bought some of this cheese, some raw cheese. And then I'm gonna eat this. This is from Icon. Don't worry, a bunch of savages. I won't eat the vegetables. And then I bought this cheese. My wife said it will be stinky. I'm gonna try that in a minute. Made some steak and some eggs. Got some bone broth here. Look who's, oh, not so excited about it. Oh. Got some creme fraiche too. Might dump some of that in there. These are giant duck eggs. Looking delicious. Finishing off the night with some, what I'm gonna call carnivore ice cream. Can't really tell you all the contents of it just yet, but when I get it perfected, I will. It's absolutely amazing. Nice and thick. I didn't freeze it for quite long enough, so I got a little bit to go on that. See how it's kind of drippy? Damn, it's good. I could eat this all night. Anyway, another great day of carnivore. I'll try to get a little bit more meals in tomorrow. I just didn't have an opportunity to eat that much today, so didn't film much food because not that much food happened. But I'll get a little bit more food in tomorrow. I hope I have more podcasting and more stuff to do tomorrow. I don't like food to interrupt work. I'd rather, think and concentrate on work. And then when most of my work day is done, most of my workload is done, then that's when I'll think about food. That's when I'll do my double dinner. I'll eat in a 2 to 4 hour eating window a lot of times. Sometimes I'll even have breakfast too and do the 2 to 4 hour eating window. I found that to be very effective as well, along with just some regular straight intermittent fasting. But I don't like trying to fast for like 20 hours or 16 hours or 18 hours. I don't like to count that way. I like to only count the eating window, which is kind of the same thing. But I also am not afraid to like eat a little something here and there. And I realize that breaks the fast, but I've learned that it doesn't really matter. If I have a small breakfast in the morning, in terms of my physique, it doesn't make that big of a difference. If anything, it gives me a little bit of reprieve, gives me a little bit of a break from fasting. And I think the stronger fasting, the longer fasting, the intermittent fasting, the 24-hour fast here and there, I think that those are highly effective as well. But I'm just presenting you guys with something else. So what it might look like is I might eat at like 7 a.m. and then I might eat again at 2 p.m. Or I'm sorry, I might eat at like 7 a.m. and then again at like 4 p.m. and then again at like 6 p.m. Maybe even finish it off with a small snack like this, trying to get it within that 4-hour night eating window, I guess I should say. Anyway, feeling good. Squats went great today. Did a set of 6 with 415. That felt really good. Felt powerful. I wish I had a little bit more time to do a little bit more sets because I would have pushed it a little bit further, a little bit harder. After my meeting that I had today, I was able to get back in the gym and smash some single leg split squats. That felt really good. I need to learn those a little bit better. I'm a little shaky on those. And that concludes another day. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Catch you all later.